So Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Fox News contributor. Karl, good morning to you. Go back to the interview. The president was in Portland, Oregon over the weekend. You're 3.5 weeks away from a big election. You're in Portland, Oregon. When he was holding the ice cream cone, what struck you about the commentary you heard from the president?
Well, our economy is strong as hell, he said. Well, look, that's not what the American people think. This is a guy who said inflation was going to be transitory. Now he's telling us it's going to be that our economy is strong as hell. He did so 2 days after the Bureau of Labor Statistics said that the inflation rate year over year was 8.2%, and the core inflation rate, which takes out the things that are more variable, hit a 40-year high. So 2 days before he said our economy is strong as hell, those numbers came out. It's 1 day after the Wall Street Journal quarterly survey of economists found that 63% of the economists think that we will now be in recession within 12 months with attendant job losses. That's up from 49% in the last quarterly survey that was conducted in July. And the president seems disconnected to the thing that the American people are worried about when they sit down and try and pay their monthly bills, when they go to the store, when they fill up the car, when they hear the talk at their place of employment about a slowing economy and about how the company is either not hiring or is maybe even thinking about cutting back on employment. So the president is out of touch, and that's the thing that is worst from a political perspective for anybody worried about Democratic chances this election is looking like they don't get it. And he doesn't look like he gets it, just like he didn't get inflation last year.
Administration officials were out yesterday trying to spin this. Let's listen to call for number one here.
Democrats should talk about the economy.
If we hadn't done that, if we hadn't rescued the economy through the American Rescue Plan, we would be faced with the kinds of problems, which was an economy that was facing a very real risk of free fall.
Retail sales, payroll employment, consumer spending, industrial production, all of those are not in recessionary territory.
How do you think they're doing on trying to convince people about that?
Well, first of all, Bernie Sanders, what was interesting about that was this was a challenge to the Democratic Party. He was basically saying, stop talking about abortion so much and start talking about the economy, because the economy is what worrying the American people. And the administration, I think, had to put everybody out on the shows this weekend in order to claim that everything is okay, economy is doing great. If we hadn't done what we'd done, we'd be in worse shape because of the inflation number last week. Remember, the inflation number was expected to be significantly less, and instead the internals got stronger. Think about it. The internals were the core inflation rate, which hit a 40-year high. So, look, nice sending out all those people out there, but the American people are concluding that's the crowd that was responsible for spending $5 trillion that increased demand. Inflation is too much money chasing too few goods, and that's the crowd that put the too much money into the system and continues to do so. We just learned that the cost of part of their giveaway on student loan program is $500 billion. And why did they do that? The White House sent it out as people to tell reporters, well, we think it's going to have a really good impact on generating higher turnout among younger Democratic voters. They took $500 billion of our money, borrowed it, put it on the check for our kids and our grandkids to pay in order to get people to turn out to vote this fall. That is really amazing.
Yeah, Karl, one last thing here. We talked about the Fox poll. The New York Times did a poll, and I think this is the most revealing finding there. Independent women voters last month favored Democrats by 14 points. Now that same group, independent female voters, back Republicans by 18 points. That's a 30-point swing.
Yeah. Now, remember, we're talking about relatively small sample sizes, so some of that may be that you've got, margin of error is very high for these kind of things. But what it does show is movement, and movement. We're seeing movement across the board. The New York Times Siena poll showed that the generic ballot is moving in the Republican way. It flipped. It was 1 point up by Democrats. Now I think it's 5 points up by Republicans. And we're seeing this in lots of polls across the spectrum as we get closer to the election and more polls use samples of likely voters as opposed to all voters or all adults. The Republicans are looking stronger and stronger.
The shift is on, if you ask me. We're seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Dana?
Well, remember this. Remember this important. This is the number I'm looking at. Gallup says which party would do a better job of handling the problem you think is most important. You get to decide what that issue is. 48R, 37D. That is the second largest advantage for the Republicans since this question began to be asked in the 1940s.
Wow.
1946, the Republicans had a 17-point advantage. Today, 11. That's a big sign of what's coming.
All right, Karl Rove, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kicking us off on a
You
Monday
bet.
here.